Right, so we're just leaving where we just left. Tom, where have we just left?
Aberystwyth.
Right, what have we been doing in Aberystwyth then, Guy?
Well, I'm looking at our friends like you guys. You come up to support me in court because I got arrested last night.
What for?
Apparently, failure to surrender to bail when I wasn't on bail.
Say that again.
Failure to surrender to bail, but I wasn't on bail.
Well, that sounds like there's something very dodgy there.
Well, very dodgy. I was arrested last night at 8 o'clock. Myself and Linda have had the grandchildren all weekend. We had an early night, and then we found 6 or 8 police officers surrounded our house with the police van and a police car outside the pub across the road from us with the lights flashing, threatening to kick the doors in if we didn't open the doors. So we realised they were serious when they started making serious dents in the woodwork. So I went down, spoke to them while I was in the Conservative area. They said they had a warrant for my arrest for failure to surrender to bail. I said I wasn't on bail. They said it was at Welshpool Magistrates. I said I want to see the warrant. They said we can't show you the warrant. We haven't got it with us. So I said, okay, well, you can show me your computer version of it then. No, we can't show you a computer version. I said, right, well, why should I come out? Well, basically because we're going to kick the doors in. So I did go out and said, right, okay.
Just before you can, yeah. I'm taking it this was for some serious matter then. It wasn't just a normal. Because you must have been running guns or laundering money or, like the banks do.
We'd have thought so, but apparently back in July last year, they're claiming that there was an incident in a Welshpool Magistrates Court where I had a disagreement with a couple of, a solicitor and one of the guys on the door. I can't even remember what I was doing last year, so I don't know, but I mean, this is what happened. So they've said they wanted me, so they arrested me. So I asked to see the warrant, and under their own rules, under CPR Criminal Procedure Rule 13.5, I'm entitled to see the warrant under the Criminal Procedure Rules, not the civil. We know they don't show warrants under the civil, do they? They said they would down the station, got down the station, they wouldn't show me anything, and gave me a document that said that I was, in fact, I've got it in my pocket somewhere. But yeah, said I was arrested for warrant issued for failure to surrender to bail.
And you weren't on bail?
I wasn't on bail. I've never been, I said to the magistrates today, I've never been arrested in Wales, I've never been interviewed under caution, I've never been charged, and I've never been bailed. So anyway, I was taken to Hereford Police Station. They then decided to put me in a sweat box, which is one of these big metal place things with a little tiny seat in it, and travel 110 miles, is it? Something like that. 110 miles cross country.
But I thought you was at Welshpool, that's not 110 miles.
No, that's right, because they changed the destination at the last moment, Mark. They changed the destination to Aberystwyth.
Aberystwyth. Aberystwyth.
And fortunately Linda got the word out, and yourself and Tom and Pete and that all came forward. So I was just locked in a little box. Ticky tock.
So what's happened at the end then? Because obviously you're out, because you're here now.
Yeah, they dragged me over to Aberystwyth, kept me as long as they could to the end of the day, and then said, okay, you now have to appear in the court for failure to surrender to bail. I explained to them that I can't be a breach of failure to surrender to bail because I've never been on bail. And the court, well, I think the court's basically agreed, and they've said that what I was arrested for is a non-imprisonable offence.
But you spent a night in prison?
But I spent a night in prison for a non-imprisonable offence. That's interesting.
So that would suggest that even if it was just a normal bloke, spending a night, having your liberty taken away for a whole night is serious stuff.
Oh, whole night.
And this was for something that wasn't imprisonable anyway.
No.
And you said earlier they came at night.
Yeah.
Why didn't they come during the day, normal time, and just ask you, knock on the door, Guy, can we have a word?
Exactly, Mark. What they're claiming that on January the 26th, I failed to surrender to bail, which I've never done in my life, because, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to turn up for court. But they said that they sent me something through the post. So it wasn't processed, it wasn't, which I haven't had. I mean, I haven't received, I know nothing about it, right? So they've told me that I haven't received it through the post, so this is why they've incremented this. So this is where we are. Now, the point is, since January the 26th, when they said this happened, I've just lived a normal life. I've just continued on my day-to-day activities.
Well, just for those that are listening but perhaps don't know what the date is, it's March the 14th.
March 14th, 2016. So we're talking best part of 2 months, really. And this has happened. So they actually had 2 months to come round and speak to you. They decided to come on Sunday night when you're ready for bed. Yep.
Well, that just sounds like intimidation to me.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what they've done. They've just pushed all the buttons to try and cause as much trouble as they could.
So this is Hereford Police doing the bidding of the controllers that are at the moment.
That's right. Yeah, the banks or whoever's in charge of the situation, the police are just puppets.
Yeah, well, we know that.
We know that.
I'm sure everyone watching knows that now, realises that by now. So, at least you're out, and did you enter a plea?
No, certainly not. I mean, there's no case to answer. So again, advise people: you don't just plead guilty or not guilty. You plead no case to answer. If you haven't committed an offence, or if there hasn't been an offence committed, then why would you plead guilty?
Exactly, or not guilty.
Or not guilty.
You're saying yes, I did it, or no, I didn't. When in actual fact, you don't know anything about it, so it's got nothing. Interestingly, before your case, there was a couple of lads in for a burglary of a cafe, and their barrister actually entered no case to answer, and the magistrates adjourned, came back and found him correct and let him go. So
amazing.
Absolutely
wonderful and amazing. I mean, this is, hopefully we can instruct lawyers to do exactly this for us, because if you went in and if there was a shoplifting charge.
Did you have a lawyer represent you?
No, good lord, no, good lord, no. But if you went in and stole a packet of Smarties from somewhere, and then they said that you went in with a gun and threatened the shop proprietor with a gun and charged you with armed robbery, you wouldn't plead not guilty, you would plead no case to answer, because it was merely a shoplifting charge. And that's what's going on. They're overcharging everybody, dragging them through the courts, and the Crown Prosecution Service, as opposed to the Crown Prosecution Service, don't know what they're doing. And so, we move forward with confidence.
This was evident in the case that was on before you, because they didn't even check the statements that the guys had given, and they had no copies of the statements that the guys had given, but they then purported to rely on the fact of the statements they'd given where they said they hadn't done anything. Yet they couldn't produce the evidence. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, and to top it all, you take the expense. I had 8 police officers surround my house last night, threatening to kick the doors in if I didn't come out. They then dragged me down the police station. I was locked up all night, and then this morning I was told I'd be presented in Welshpool Magistrates at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I was still in Hereford Police Station at 11 o'clock this morning. Nobody had turned up. When they did turn up, they turned up with 3 or 4 G4S guys who, in all fairness, seemed quite nice lads, but there was 4 of them, and they transported me to Aberystwyth, which wasn't Welshpool, in a huge sweatbox, a huge metal container, like a fridge, with a little tiny seat in it.
Yep.
And they dragged me all the way over there, and of course I didn't get over there till sort of dinner time. What's the expense? What for? When we got in there, what did they say? This isn't even an imprisonable offence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in prison. I was in prison for like 20 hours.
So this is the powers that were attempting to show you that they can flex the muscles, when in actual fact they're going to have serious consequences from this, I would imagine.
Well, that's right, and who pays out? I mean, because at the end of the day, 20 hours unlawfully detained on a non-existent warrant, because they said the warrant was for failure to surrender to bail, which I wasn't on bail. I've never been arrested, I hadn't been charged, I hadn't been interviewed, I certainly hadn't been bailed, so that warrant was completely false. And at what public expense? Dragging me across the country in a van with a load of guys. The whole thing has probably cost thousands of pounds for what? For a non-imprisonable offence.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous one.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Debt Free TV, in association with GetOutOfDebtFree.org.